The Concord is a young organisation, and for many, the fact that it has not collapsed from bureaucratic failings or logistical nightmares is a minor miracle. The civil service that acts as a grinding gears across the 5 realms would point to a constant drive to improve and a willingness to change within reason as a pliability that allows the Concord to continue. Over the summer, a number of changes have been proposed, trialled and debated in the halls of power, with a handful even being adopted. Information on titles and changes to old ones, as well as a full list of available titles this summit, can be found within. Hand in hand. Since the founding of the Concord, the fledgling Foreign Service has done its best to ensure an image of strength and purpose to the varied nation of southern Esterra and beyond. A difficult task that has been made easier over time through the investment of the Senate into additional embassies, spy networks and titles. But the Foreign Service frequently clashed with one of the greatest powers in southern Esterra, the Concordian Church of the Divine Spheres. The last 3 years are littered with missteps of ambassadors, the clumsy swipes of the church, and an endangerment to both of the Concord's reputation and the immortal souls of its citizens. With the growing presence of heretics within the Concord and the continued contract with heathen foreign nations, the words of the first Concordian voice of the church, Jacques de Zisseau, ring true. To expose the workers of the Foreign Service to these heretical beliefs is to endanger their souls, regardless of the content or nature of these beliefs. The Foreign Service has seen fit to reach out to the Church to rectify the situation. The solution is the Concordian Consular, a titled position that bridges the Church and the Foreign Service, acting as the religious guide to the Foreign Service and the foreign advisor to the Church. The hope is that the Consular not only ensures that both groups work in unison, but also that the Concordian faith can be better shared with the wider world. The title of the Concordian Consular has been created and will be available for elections this summit. Please see Esterrapedia for more information on this title. Tour of Duty. The role of champion is one enshrined in the function of the War Chamber. When the Concord was founded, there were significant fears that those nations with outstanding armies would not be represented in the conquest of this would-be empire. As the Concord has matured, the role has become the voice of the realm on matters military, ranging from defence, logistics and beyond. However, the role was hamstrung by its transient nature. Attempts by realms to retain institutional knowledge from the War Chamber's function were lost in a single season turnover. New champions were thrown to the lions of the War Chamber, their ambitions either consumed by the barrage of knowledge required to navigate the war map, or absorbed into the schemes of more established generals and admirals. In a similar manner, the strange hybrid that is the Field Marshal has also fallen under scrutiny, both a title and not, as temporary as a mayfly, but festooned with more responsibility than many. Concordian forces balanced on a razor's edge of unaccountability and a title unable to defend itself. The civil service is not idle in observing these phenomena and moves to correct it. Game information. The champion title has had its term extended to 2 summits. All champions are up for election at this summit and will serve the full term provided they do not die, step down, or have the title stripped from them. The intent behind this change is to provide champions with more time to make an impact in the War Chamber, to provide appropriate gravitas to the role, and to change power dynamics within the War Chamber. Field Marshal has also been made a full title and received a complete rewrite, gaining new powers and responsibilities. It can be found on the Esterrapedia wiki. Agent of the Crown. The King's Rages of Bordevar are a force of fighters, spies and agents who serve the Crown, striking out far against its enemies and pursuing its local foes. With the gradual decline of the prominence of the Crown while it rests in the hands of the Wise Council, the Rangers lost their central command. The Wise Council did not feel that it was within their capabilities to name a new Royal Ranger, so the organisation floundered. Many turned to a life of mercenary work, others retired, some sold their skill to the noble houses of the realm, while many more simply perished against the Onyx aristocracy. In 223, the Ducal Council of Wayland faced this issue and considered their options. Final agreement was reached and the decision was supported by the Wise Council. The Crown has reinstated the title of Royal Ranger from the year 224 onwards. As the news of this filters out through the realm, old bow-arms look over at their griffin braces with pride. There will be a new generation of rangers with purpose and drive. They will once again serve their realm and ensure that the Royal Griffin once again flies proud over all of Bordevar, and their enemies will learn to watch their backs and clear their tracks. In a move less dramatic and less public, the Wise Council has formalised the process of King's Rangers offering their services to noble houses. King's Rangers are permitted to join a noble house as Zealfolk and wear the house's livery as standard. However, King's Rangers will require written dispensation from the Royal Ranger that they are aware of their twin loyalties to the Crown and their house, and the King's Ranger is expected to still offer support to the Royal Ranger where required. Game information. Following player decisions, a new Bordavorian title has been created, the Royal Ranger. While the Royal Ranger exists as the head of the archetype King's Ranger, they do not command it, rather acting as a mentor and facilitator for the archetype. It is expected that the Royal Ranger will need support from other King's Rangers to pursue their goals and the goals of the Crown, but they cannot legally compel the other King's Rangers to act. King's Rangers joining noble houses as Yeofolk has also been clarified, allowing characters of this archetype to pursue a role within noble houses. Civil Service Report. Titles available for election this summit are as follows: Admiral of the Liberty's Fist, Admiral of the People's Gift, Ambassador to the Dendar Nations, Ambassador to the Trade Principality of Aprivano, Archmage of the Shard Circle, Baron of Resinderholtz, Captain of the Passage Watch, Champion of the Baronies, Champion of the King, Champion of the Revolution, Champion of the Tribes, Champion of the Valley, Concordian Consular, Groundskeeper of Richton's Tier, Head Surgeon of the Passage Field Hospital, High Historian, High Priest of Arcadian, High Priest of Servitas, High Priest of Stalia, Lake Lidua Quarry Deed, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Royal Ranger, Senator of Bolsterlee, Senator of Lorona Mare, Senator of Mukarem, Senator of the Tribelands, Senator of Wayland, and the Spy Master of the Tyrant's Curse. For information on character eligibility, when the elections are, and the election method, please have a look at the Winds of the World post on Esterrapedia. And that concludes my reading of What's Yours is Mine. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you next time.